I'm so excited about this one, I cannot stand it. This is my cover version of Augustina Pizzeria's Baked Ziti. If you were in Greene County anytime in the 70s or the 80s, you had this stuff and it was out of this world. Now I'm calling it a cover because I didn't have the exact recipe, even though my friend Mark, thanks Mark, and Steve, thank you Steve, gave me some input on how it was done originally. So it's a cover because it might be a little bit different, but the flavor profile is the same. And frankly, I don't think most people could tell the difference if I am wrong. So we're going to go with this version. It's going to be quick, and I apologize ahead of time for the segments in the video, but it's really a super easy dish, and it's wonderful. So give it a shot. Now over here, all I have is 2 tablespoons of olive oil and a great big fat yellow onion that I diced up, and it's sauteing off. And to that, I'm going to add, I think I have 4 cloves of garlic. See, they weren't very big. If you have great big ones, use less, or more if you love garlic. In this particular dish, I was trying to really replicate Augustino's Ziti as close as I could. So I tried to mimic the flavors. So all you do is saute this together until your onion gets translucent and it's starting to smell really good. And right here, I have 2 cans. These are 28-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. So these go into the pot. Okay, simple, right? We're good so far? Now, to that, we're going to add our flavor profile. We're going to go with, and the Ziti part's almost ready, 6-ounce can of tomato paste, 1 teaspoon of anchovy paste, 2 bay leaves, about a teaspoon and a half of salt, several nice big fat fresh thyme, what is that called? It's a sprig. Put the whole thing in there. And a couple of tablespoons of dried oregano. Everybody goes in the pool. Now, all I'm going to do right here, my anchovies won't let go. There we go. All I'm going to do here is stir this together. And this is going to simmer and let some of this liquid evaporate off and let the flavors come together. I am probably going to give this a good 30 minutes just because I like the consistency of the sauce when it's had that long. Now, over here real quick, because this is ready to go, I have the Ziti part. And my buddy up in Knoxville, who used to work at Augustino's, gave me, again, thanks Mark, gave me the advice to look for mustachioli, which is simply a Ziti with this size and shape. And it may not even say Ziti on the box. The particular box I bought simply said mustachioli. So this was the texture that I was missing for years when I tried to duplicate it. So this has had 11 minutes. I'm going to drain this off and let him sit over here until I'm ready for him. I am going to let my sauce come up to a simmer and let it do its bubbly yumminess thing. And I'll be back in just a second and show you the next step. Okay, here we go. Next step. Alright, I let my marinara sauce just simmer down for about half an hour. You know what? I love when food comes with its own timers. This is so wonderful. Alright, you know, we put fresh thyme in there. You see that? There's a few leaves on there, but most of them have dropped off and they're in the sauce. And at this point, they've given it up for you. So you can let them go to their eternal reward. They're done. So fish those out. I think I had 3. There's a bay leaf in here too somewhere. Now, my Ziti, mustachioli. Okay, I was wrong. Here's full. Had 11 minutes. Now, it's really important that you only go to al dente with this. And I'll say something that I've noticed when I was cooking this off over the past, couple weeks to test out this recipe, is that the Ziti and the mustachioli seem to be extremely starchy. I don't know why. So, because I like to give myself some wiggle room and assemble things in batches or, certain concrete steps, because I have lots of children and you don't always get uninterrupted cooking time. I cooked off the Ziti a little bit and let it sit, on the side while I was doing the rest of the pasta. Now, to keep it from all clumping and sticking together, I did put some oil in the water itself, but when it came off, I drizzled it with a little bit of olive oil too. That helped keep it from sticking together while I was waiting on the sauce to finish. The other thing I did was I tasted and adjusted my sauce, It needed some salt. And I did put a good bit of cracked black pepper. Freshly cracked, please. It does make a big difference. Okay, so at this point, we have our oven over here preheated to 350 degrees. And here's our next step. I have, I'll make sure I get the complete instructions on the website at thethrillbillygourmet.com. I think this is 16 ounces of mozzarella cheese. I think. Now, I grated that up because at Augustino's, you always got the cheese and the marinara and the ziti, but then you had some other choices. One of those choices was pepperoni. It's a fabulous pizzeria. So all I'm going to do is layer the top of this with the pepperoni. Another choice, which is absolutely delicious, which I love, is mushrooms. And if you're doing that, you want 1 or 2 4-ounce cans of mushrooms. And yes, I know I have a fresh mushroom thing, but in this case, I'm after that nostalgic yumminess, and there were canned mushrooms, and they taste great. However, my children protested, so we're going to skip it for now. Now, next, and I'm pretty sure this was not in the original, but I think it adds something that's just amazing. What I did here was I took an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. I let it come to room temperature, and I put it in a plastic bag. And I'm layering it in here. So you cut a tip in the corner of your plastic bag. You see that? All I did was cut off the tip. And I'm squeezing it, just like you would do the pastry bag. I'm using my scissors to make little, and yeah, they stick to the scissors, no big deal. This will give you nice little concrete bits that will go over the top and in the layers, and it will melt in there with the mozzarella, and it gives a layer of fabulous flavor. It almost, honestly, it's got I've had chances to have real fresh water-packed mozzarella, and I gotta say, if you have to go with the store-bought stuff because you don't have the fresh packed, do the cream cheese trick. It's out of this world. I stuck to myself. So, all I'm going to do at this point is exactly what you just saw me do. I'm going to use half of this cream cheese right here. I'm going to continue doing little bits over the top of this. I'm going to repeat all those layers. Except on the top layer, I'm going to finish with the mozzarella cheese. And you'll see why when it comes out of the oven. So I'm going to repeat all my layers. I'm going to top with the mozzarella. I'm going to put him in that 350 degree oven, and it's going to go for about 30 to 40 minutes. You want it to bubble around the edges. You want it to get hot all the way through. Now that I thought of it, don't use too much cheese in the middle. Mark said it wouldn't melt if you did that, so don't do that. But you want it to bubble around the edges, get hot all the way through, and the top is going to be divine. So I'm going to finish this up, stick him in there to get hot and lovely, and I'll show you what he looks like when he comes out. Look, 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 come here. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Alright, this, y'all, is my cover of Augustino's baked ziti with pepperoni.
Wait.
And, are you ready? Come here, look, 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 look. Down here. See that? Ooh, yeah, you wish you had that. That is my cover of Augustino's baked ziti with pepperoni. And mushrooms if you want them. And then mushrooms. Now, if you really want it to be authentic, you can find those little round aluminum foil kind of deep dish pie plate things. I had a baking dish, no big deal. But let me tell you, if you take one bite of this, if you ever went to Augustino's, you'd immediately be right back there with the ribbed beer pitchers and the jukebox playing. It's awesome. Super simple. Looks like a lot of steps. And it does take a little bit of time to put all the lovely, beautiful layers together the way they should be. But oh my gosh, the payoff is so worth it. So here you go. Steve, Charlie, and Mark, thank you. Thanks, Edie. Augie stuff.